How much do you tip your DoorDash driver? Because on a small to order, if you're not tipping $7 to $10, then you're a piece of shit. You shouldn't be ordering your own shit. You should get your lazy ass in your car and go get your own shit. If I order something and it's like, $25, $30, I do an $8 tip. And I think if you're out there tipping $2, $3, $4, you just shouldn't. I think you shouldn't order DoorDash or one of the other delivery services because you're too lazy and too cheap and you can't afford that shit. So quit ordering it. If you can't afford to pay for it, quit ordering it. Quit ordering it. If you go out to eat and you're not tipping 25%, then stay at home and cook your damn food yourself. Quit being a selfish piece of shit and start tipping people for your convenience. I don't work in the food industry. I just appreciate all the people that do. And so, yeah, you should tip. And if you're not tipping good, you suck as a human being. You're lazy and you're broke, and you should tip better. So I'd like to know your thoughts.
Yeah, so he tips 25-30% clearly, and that's like super generous. I don't even like tipping that much up front anymore because I've been burnt way too many times. And I understand now why people just go with the standard 5. But then you also have the other flip side. Most people are just pushing buttons, next. But like I live further, or why I shouldn't say I live, like I stay in like kind of an Airbnb situation. It's not like an actual Airbnb, but it's like someone we did work for, and we stay in in another floor of her house. And she's great to us, but like every time I've tipped basically 30% up front, I swear I get the worst dasher. And we've done other videos on that. Can't remember his name. He basically ran away with my Taco Bell, and I was very, very upset. Luckily, I got a good support agent who just gave me the credits immediately, put me $5 on top, and I ended up giving the next dasher that extra 5. But I also just went with what it suggested because I just got burnt, which was like $4, I believe. I didn't order that much food. But like when it comes to shops, they have often suggested to me to tip like 15 to 20 lately. I don't know if that's because I often post tip and that ends up being my total tip anyway, or if it's just because I'm further away and they're trying to get it, taken faster. But even when I do tip a lot up front with shops because I'm further away from the stores, it usually takes a long, long, long time to find a shopper. I've only had one shopper when I've been up in Plattsburgh area that was like crappy, and they weren't like horrible. But, like when I've been at home and I order like groceries for the house because I was without a vehicle for quite a while, like most of them sucked. They were very rude. They wouldn't like listen to my instructions or my request, because like I know how the app works and what you can do with it. It's like, I'm like, hey, this is what I'm asking for, and if you do it, you're getting extra money. Well, I also understand at the same time that gig workers have heard that line 100 times and it never follows through. But I'm the one that does, and I'm also a gig worker. So I'm just wondering, like, if these customers are just, we have tip culture burnout in general, and I'm just wondering if these people in general have tip burnout because when I came back up here in the north, I got customers I used to get all the time. They tip 20-30% up front, and now they just do the 5. And like they were very excited to have me, but like only a couple of them post tipped, and it was like a couple bucks at most. They didn't tip me like an extreme amount. Like usually the standard what they'll suggest is 1, 2, and 5, but sometimes they'll suggest 2, 5, and 10, or other, depending on what you usually post tip. As far as my experience goes, because I'm a customer more than a dasher, so than a gig worker now because I have a W-2. So I'm just wondering if like we can't be so extreme that we expect 7 to 8 every time, because those $5 tips on say McDonald's or a small shop are your bread and butter that keeps you busy and that keeps you going. But this is also why not to rely on demand and diversify, have last mile, have um, catering apps, stuff you can schedule, look into getting your own DSP going or doing direct partnerships with your local merchants if allowed. So like my local Core Life in Watertown, Steve, the manager there, and I met the owner too. I can't remember his name. I apologize. They're superstars. They're franchisees, and they have a little flexibility, but they also can't like just do willy nilly. So like you know how these restaurants are like direct partners and stealing all the good orders. They can't do that. But the only time they were able to is Olo, and for whatever reason, DoorDash wouldn't send it that far away because it went to the airbase, which is not even that much farther, but it would only go to like the middle of the base because I've delivered many, many, many orders from the city to Fort Drum, especially when I shop. I just grab a quick, little DoorDash on top of a shop, and that's how you make, decent money because you just go grab it for $10 and it's usually almost always ready, if not almost, already ready.
Well, okay. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little well, first off, the latter point of everything you've said, I agree with pretty much almost all of it. I do want to address the former points though, just because I am pretty impressed by how you like how you made the point of like, hey, I think that tip burnout is real, and they're like basically you don't tip that much up front, but you will tip after. So it's not like you're not going to tip. You're kind of just going through the buttons and you're tipping what the default would be. And so like that's pretty much it. And I have found it very interesting that your Dasher market is filled with people. Well, I shouldn't be surprised that your Dasher market is filled with people that are questionable. But I was impressed that the questionable people were the ones that you were getting when you were tipping well. Like, I don't know if that is just bad luck or your market or what that looks like. Cause I find that the worst drivers are the ones that are taking everything, and the best drivers are the ones that you actually who are smart enough to just keep their status on the platform, etc. Maybe it is your market. Maybe it is just, hey, this is the market we're currently in, and whatchamacallit, that's
Well,
kind of the gist of it.
so
Uh,
college is back, and we get a lot of part-time dashers from the city that are dashers, and it seems like those are the kind of people I tend to get. If not, it's like middle-aged women who sorry to be gender biased here, but like I know most people complain about male shoppers. I've had more problems with the female shoppers than anyone else. Like I had really good ones, don't get me wrong, but like when I usually tend to run into problems, it's the female shoppers that give me the most issues. Like they don't want to listen. Oh, I have to do what the app absolutely says, blah, blah, blah. They don't understand that they're independent contractors. They think they're basically an employee. And like I think a lot of them, because it takes so long for my order to get accepted, are earned by time. And what earn by time does, if you get a shop on earn by time, that means the offer on earn per offer is more than what they calculate it should take on earn per up. Okay, earn by time will basically pay less than it would do earn per offer. And DoorDash has like they don't show the timer anymore, but like they always had super generous shop times. Like it's a 50 minutes on DoorDash, but the similar order on Instacart. Sorry for the noise. The similar order on Instacart would be like 15 to 20-minute timer. Like they are
mhm,
to shop it pretty quick. Like so 5-0 versus 15 is a giant difference.
yeah. But yeah, that is like it definitely seems like it's a market thing. Um Shopping, I think shoppers in general, like maybe it's just DoorDash. Maybe I'm speaking just to DoorDash. I find that most people are just not a fan of shop and deliver on DoorDash specifically, because what the DoorDash community prefers, from what I've observed, is they want to go to a place, pick up an order, and deliver it. It's not they want to do all the shopping and everything else. Maybe they do. Maybe there is a community that doesn't mind doing all the shopping and getting all that done. I just don't experience that personally. Um,
It doesn't make sense in my market though, because the majority of volume is shops, especially when the college isn't around. So, like, you're going to Aldi, you're going to Dollar General, you're going to Save a Lot, and it's like, okay, and then you got the other apps like Walmart Spark and Instacart. You're going to DoorDash has Price Chopper too now, which is like Publix, and you know, I think it's like, but the best money is on demand, is in shopping. Obviously, yes, I have been burnt by that, but like at the same time, it's like it's usually the better paying money. Like even if it's just straight base pay.
oh, I'm not denying them that there's money there. I 100% agree that there's money in shopping orders. I just figure that, well, at least to me, the best orders for DoorDash, yes, are shopping in some markets, but in terms of getting through orders quickly and building the momentum of accepting and completing orders, because that's another thing that DoorDash tracks too, is how quickly are you getting these orders done, is pick it is literally just that. Like like you go into the store, you get everything done, like you pick it up, you leave, and you get it delivered so you can move on to the next order. I guess the next question would then be yes, the volume is there on Walmart. Yes, the volume is there on Instacart. Is the volume still on DoorDash? And yeah, we've already talked about how the most money currently in terms of food and meal delivery is catering delivery. And that's kind of where we've been focusing on, and my week has been focusing on, if I like, with the videos I've been posting, picking fights with people, um but it's just that, like, it's literally, I guess that's really the gist of it. Like, you get, like, it really depends on do you have dashers that are willing to do shopping orders? Maybe that's why they are actually paying more, because you don't have as many drivers willing to do those orders because of the issues with the red card, with issues with getting all the shopping done, and then you find out that the red card is giving you problems and they ask you to pay out of pocket, or they just will give you a world of a hard time about it, and because of that, you'll cancel the order halfway, and that'll end up penalizing your record or your ratings or whatever that means. I think Budsoda is frozen.
Okay, I was trying to text someone real quick. I thought you were going to go on a little longer. Um, so I'm trying to let people know. I get it. It's a new time, so this week's going to be a little rough. But if anything, like DoorDash, like I've never had problems with reimbursement. I did it once on Instacart and got burnt. Luckily, it wasn't very much, and like the customer, like I told her what happened, and she like just gave me the money. So she was really cool about it, like $20. And but like that doesn't happen. Usually, you just get burnt. So like Instacart and Uber, I wouldn't. I know like when Uber switched to QR codes or whatever, they're trying to do like Spark does. It
Mhm.
didn't work very good, and like the order would just keep getting passed around, passed around, passed around, passed around because you get to the checkout and you couldn't check out because like the QR code thing wouldn't work and they wouldn't put the money on the Uber Black or whatever card for
Well,
whatever reason. They refused to. And they said, "Oh no, we won't reimburse you because you're supposed to use a QR code." It's like, okay, do you want this shop done or not? It's been bouncing around all day. I guess like because Uber will sit there and bonus it out until like it finally gets done, unless the customer cancels.
Yeah.
So like small shops, yeah, just pay it out of pocket and move on. But like, you know, I've done that with stolen orders. But like otherwise, it's like if these are big shops, like $100 plus, like how long is it going to take the bonus out to where that's worth doing? It'd be very, very, very long time, and the store is going to be almost certainly closed by then. And like most shoppers aren't confident enough to like just do their own thing and go fast and just do whatever. I had some people get upset because I did that, or they're chatting, you know, why are you doing that? Da, da, da. Like, because I was just going through fast and I was going to mention them at the end why I did everything. And they're like, well, come on, can you look for this thing and that thing, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, listen, they're about to close and they're trying to get me out of here. And in fact, they're like, a couple of the employees were like starting to grab a few things here and there for me that were in like the scattered aisles. Because like, I just stick to where like produce, there's like 12 things grabbing produce, there's 10 things grabbing dairy, there's 20 things grabbing the freezer. But like, otherwise, like, you know, the other things in the other aisles, they were like going to get for me. I've had people do that for me, which is really awesome. But, you know, because they want to go home. And I've had some people get very upset because they're like, oh, you Instacart or DoorDashers are always in here late and you guys want to check out after hours. Like, can't you tell these companies to like stop sending them out an hour before we close? I'm like, no, don't work like that, bud.
Yeah,
they'll send me to the very last minute and in fact past close.
Yeah, it's funny because they think we have so much influence over the companies. Like,
oh, why don't they just why don't you just ask them to pay more? Why don't you just tell them to stop and sending drivers this late?
gee, I don't know. Maybe because we're 1099 contractors and they can replace us as soon as they can, like, as soon as we have an opinion about something.
Yeah, the only app that would bonus stuff out that when the store is about to close or it was like their market close because they weren't 24/7 was Grubhub. They just like throw $20 at it and see if someone took it. Because I got burnt by that a couple times because I got there just like maybe 5 minutes too late and everyone was already gone. So it must have been a slow night, you know? It's like, normally I'll beat on the door if they're still in there. I'm sorry for the light. But yeah, just you'll have that a lot. It sucks, but you'll have that.